Hello and welcome back to the E-Arsenal podcast. We are here once again to talk things and everything Arsenal and Gooner related, discussing the, slightly, I don't know whether to call it underwhelming draw. The fact that we haven't won an FA is slightly surprising, and obviously now a replay, and we don't really know where we're gonna play it. Like, it's gonna be on like a maybe like a Thursday afternoon or something by the time we've got to play it. So we'll talk about that and when we might be playing it and what sort of team we'll put out. A little bit about Hull and how they did. Most of this podcast looking for Barcelona tomorrow evening, which I am approaching with excitement, trepidation and horror, all three at the same time, as I'm sure many of you are. And I'm delighted to welcome onto the show. Hello, Rob.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
I'm feeling my Barcelona juices are flowing, sort of. But we'll get.
It's been a while.
It's been about 3 years. Was it since Ashavin? It's about 3 years.
5 years.
Is it 5 years? Really?
Yeah.
Goodness me, that's it. That's extraordinary. We'll move on to that in a minute. As it's the cup this week, we thought we'd switch the team around a little. So Jack's taken a place on the bench this week, and in his place we have Connor.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm pretty good, actually. Glad to be back.
Excellent. We're pleased to have you back. We really are. Hello. you went quiet on me.
Was that sarcasm or?
No, it wasn't sarcasm. I'm playing. I'm toying. So let's get straight onto matters. Yeah, it was just, it had the look of a 0-0 draw right from I say from about the 10th minute in, and I was like, yeah, this is going to replay. We just couldn't break them down. Hull, one of those sort of teams. It's Curtis Davies and Alex Bruce. This is one of the sort of teams that, you know, even in the Premier League, they were hard to break down at times. Not every day, not every game, but when they were, that impenetrable duo and force, they were never going to let a goal in. I'm going to come to you first, Rob. How did you see the game? I don't mean how did you see, like with you standing on your heads, but how did you see it? Turn out.
It might have been more interesting. Yeah, it was one of those games. I mean, unlike Leicester the week before, in which, despite us missing a hell of a lot of chances, I kept saying, there's a goal in this, we're going to score eventually. Like you said, from about the 10th minute, it was looking going, we're not going to score here. And Jakupovic had, I'd say, an amazing game, made 2 outstanding saves that he's probably never going to make again.
Yeah.
And the Campbell free kick and the Welbeck shot that took a deflection. It's just very frustrating, and we've had 2 results in the league where we've finally got over this we can't score, and then as soon as we change the team round, it's back to we can't score. Well,
this is it. Like a couple of weeks ago, I said when we drew to Southampton, at which point we were a long way off off Leicester, and I said, like, sometimes you get games where keepers make 11 saves. It just doesn't happen. Now that's happened again in the space of a month, in less than a month. Should we be worried about that?
I'm starting to think that maybe the Emirates has got some sort of time warp or something where the ball slows down and the keeper can just see it like a second before it's going to get to him. Because I don't think it's ever happened anywhere else, but maybe it's just we can't finish.
Well, the Emirates has always been a bit of a poison chalice for us sometimes, hasn't it? I think it'd be hard to disagree with that. I'll come to you, Connor, now. What was your view on the game, essentially?
Well, I think it was Jonathan Liu of the Telegraph that said we had Premier League tactics with FA Cup intensity when he said that we should have been the other way around, where we should have been. I think he was alluding to the 2 holding midfield players that we started with, which I thought was a bit, at home against Hull, was a bit too defensive. But yeah, we just found them difficult to break down. I mean, they had almost 5. They had 2 wing backs.
Yeah.
But outstanding. I think he made Jakubovic made 11 saves, which is the most against us the whole season.
Well, no, since Southampton, that was my point. That was my worrying point, really.
Yeah, but again, going back to that Southampton game, is that we created a fair bit. I think again 24 shots, but couldn't finish.
Exactly. Is that not concerning that we're lacking the ruthlessness absolutely necessary?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, look, we always have lacked ruthlessness. This is Arsenal, for goodness sake, but to do it twice in the space of I think you would call it twice in the space of 3 weeks. Is a bit that's concerning for me.
Yeah. I do think though, like if we did get an early goal, and we did have a couple of opportunities early on. If we did get that goal, then it would have been a different affair. I think we should have had a penalty as well, with or maybe 2. But ultimately just very frustrating in the end.
With what incident do you refer to?
Well,
I'm trying to think.
The handball, I think, was it Alex Bruce that lent in?
Okay, yeah.
I think that was a handball. There was one incident, again with Callum Chambers. I think he was tripped in the box. That could have been given in the second half, I think. But I don't think Danny Welbeck's was a penalty though. But 2 incidents where it could have been. So could have changed the game.
Yeah. How did you think Iwobi played? I noticed he wasn't playing in his traditional black slippers. He'd actually dyed them red, which was I was quite impressed with that, I have to say. Yeah, I mean, he was quite instrumental in certain parts of the game, but then he kept drifting in and out of it. I mean, again, Hull are a difficult. They're a bit enigmatic, really. This is the same Hull City that are top of the Championship right now. It's worth pointing that out.
Did make 10 changes though, didn't they? It's not the same.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So, in those sentiments, we should have been able to break them down. But that they, I can't remember if they started Huddleston. I think Huddleston came on, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came off the bench, I think.
Yeah. Rapturous applause, no doubt. But he seemed to make a difference because at the end it was basically 11 bodies back, and we don't do particularly well against 11 bodies or even 10 bodies back, as often happens. So Welbeck started, which I was a bit surprised about. And how did you, Rob? How did you think he fared?
I think he was all right. He was unlucky, like I said earlier, about not getting the goal with the save. I don't think he had it was a sort of an okayish game. It wasn't one that perhaps set the world on fire because he didn't get a goal, and he probably had a couple of chances too. But it wasn't a performance in which I could complain too much about. For someone that's come back from 10 months out, if you said to me he's going to get the winner against a title rival and he's going to have a half-decent performance in the FA Cup, I'd probably have taken it.
Yeah, absolutely. And he didn't break down with injury or anything like that, so I think...
No, which is always a bonus.
That's a massive plus. Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, how did you... another player who's not... we've seen a little bit of him, but Mohamed El Nani, did you... were you watching him with an eagle eye?
Yeah, I like him actually. I think I'd almost in a few games like to see him and Coquelin together because I think he's got that energy and he gives a bit more defensive stability to that midfield. Not against Hull, however, where I think we probably should have taken one of the holders off and put someone a bit more attacking in there. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't complain about El Neni either. He was pretty good going forward at times. Had a bit of cutting edge. I think in the game though, we really missed Ozil, who I didn't really expect to play, seeing as we have got Barcelona on Tuesday. But we missed Cazorla as well, I think, and I think perhaps in a few of these games where we have failed to score, that we really miss. Not having Cazorla in there, able to make a few more chances and even take a few more chances, perhaps.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think, they were saying on BT Sport that, as like you say, that why were we using, and Jonathan Liu indeed saying, why were we using two holding midfielders? I can understand why. I think not so much in the first half, but certainly when Sonny Aluko came on and Hernandez came on, they broke with decent pace, and I could see that line getting broke, especially with Mertesacker and Koscielny creeping up. I could see why he did it, because he just wanted to safeguard against that at all costs. I would suggest. Yeah, go on.
Oh no, I just agree. Yeah, I couldn't completely understand why he did it. I just think get further into the game, probably about half time, we probably could have afforded to take one of them off. I mean, Diomande caused us a few problems, but I don't think it was enough problems that we could have not, kept Flamini and El Nene in the middle of midfield. We probably could have brought someone on, Chamberlain or someone, just to try and open the game a little bit.
Yeah, I want to talk about one of our other fringe players, as you might call, to Connor. Callum Chambers.
Solid again. Really a sure performance, both defensively, and he had a hand in some attacking moves as well. Mentioned the penalty, but also a few passes. He's turned out to be a very crude purchase, just based on his versatility alone. I think it was Arsenal Fan TV had an interview with Gazidis, I think last year, and he said that they looked at defenders that could play in a number of positions. So Debussy, Monreal and Sagna have played at centre-back from full-back. I just think he can play, is it defensive midfield as well? Wenger said
he has done before. Yeah.
I think right-back is probably his weakest position, but over the past few months, he's kind of changed my opinion that he's a good backup to Bellerin. Because I was after Debussy left to Bordeaux, it was a bit. I think you confronted me on it actually, that we don't actually have a replacement right back.
I wouldn't say confront.
Well,
I brought it up.
Yeah, but yeah, he solid again. So very happy for him.
Yeah, I think just only for the fact that I don't like Callum Chambers at right back. I prefer him at centre back or in a holding midfield role. But having said that, he was. Obviously he played at right back on Saturday, and I did comment to a few Arsenal mates of mine that I think he had a good game. A couple who were watching, and I think it makes a difference to watching on TV and watching live. That he was, he was getting up the pitch, which is not necessarily something I'd enjoy seeing him do. But I think he seemed very solid. I have to say. I know a couple of the Twitterati, I should say, they were a bit more critical of him. So
don't listen to them.
It's Twitter, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it very much depended on your viewpoint of it, but overall, I think I think he had a decent outing. So I'm looking at the fixture list. Obviously, Barcelona tomorrow and United on Sunday, and then midweek next week we've got Swansea at home and then Spurs. So, and traditionally the replay would be in that week. Obviously, they can't postpone the Premier League game in midweek. So the only time that I can see we're playing it is we playing them that following midweek, which is not necessarily a problem. Or is it? What do you think, Rob?
I'm big on tradition, and I'm big on the FA Cup. Despite the fact that I've mostly grown up with it, with people not taking it all that seriously, but I honestly think it's time to scrap the fifth round replays and onwards. It's just become such a problem now, and the only game that it could have probably been worse to affect would have been Chelsea-Man City. But the fact that we can't play it during the Champions League games is ridiculous, and it's just creates a problem, because either we're going to have to play it just on some random afternoon somewhere, or we're going to have to play on 6th round weekend, and by the time we get to May, we'll have about 4 fixtures in 10 days or something, because we'll have just a backlog of fixtures. Assuming we win, of course.
Indeed.
That's a bit presumptuous of me there.
Indeed. I was rightly brought up on this on Twitter yesterday, that it's now not called necessarily, especially after in the light of the draw, which we'll talk about in a little bit. It's now not the what did I call it? The FA Arsenal Emirates Cup, as it would be if we won it 3 years in a row. So yeah, I apologise for that. But yeah, the way the draws, we'll talk about the draw now. So and the 4 biggest dangers for us, on paper, are playing each other. And United have they won 3-0? Is that a final result?
Yeah, they're through
so
now.
They're now playing West Ham at Old Trafford, which would be, I think, a terrific game. It's a shame it's not at the Boleyn Ground, because I think just the big match atmosphere at Upton Park would be better. And obviously Everton are playing Chelsea, which is my pick of the tie of the round. I think. So, and the way it's just the draw again, it's just mixing all our rivals, people we don't want to play, against each other, and it's just the path is just it's like Moses is parting the Red Sea almost in a kind of footballing way. Somehow, I'm not sure Moses played football, or Victor. Not obviously Victor Moses does, but I think that might be as close as we're going to get. So I think that'll be interesting to see when the replay might be. And do you think we'll play much of what kind of a team do you think we'll play in the replay? Connor?
Well, I saw online, I can't remember what source it was, but I think we will play, I heard 3 days, I think, after the Spurs game was where they fit it in.
Right. Yeah, so the Tuesday, the whatever that is, 6th, 7th,
like
Tuesday
8th,
the 8th. Tuesday the 8th, yeah.
So I can't imagine, again, with, like, as you said, mentioned the fixture list, it's pretty full on. So I can't imagine we're going to play that strong a team in terms of first team players. But I think the teams we've put out, again, I've been happy. Like, it's good quality. It's not days of old where we play 6 academy graduates. Or perhaps like Shamak or Danielson, just kind of players on the sidelines.
Club legends, I think you'll agree.
Club legends, yeah. Prash Shavin in there as well, with Barcelona coming up. But yeah, I can't imagine it. I mean, it's a pretty similar team, just maybe centre backs maybe change a bit, or spinner and goal and stuff. So, but it should progress.
So yeah, I mean that the following Saturday we have West Brom at home on Saturday evening. So I don't know whether that's gonna affect his team selection. I mean, personally, I would have played Sanchez to start yesterday, because goodness me, he needs form. Did he start? I'm having a bit of a moment. He didn't start against Hull, did he?
No, he came on.
That's right, yeah. Because I was expecting him to start, because we spoke about it last week. He needs form. And as it showed, he's woefully out of it at the moment. Which, it's not too surprising for a guy who's just coming back from injury, and he's playing a little bit with that in mind. So, if we're talking about the replay, I think I would not be surprised to see him start that. I think because he needs to get a nice run of games together, and I think that will do him the world of good. Right. So that's the cup out of the way. Now let's talk about Barcelona.
The big one.
The big one. Tomorrow night. And so this time tomorrow night, as it is 10 to 10. I'm speaking to you live. We'll know what kind of situation or predicament we're in going into the second leg in 3 weeks' time. I watched Las Palmas against Barcelona at the weekend, and I tell you what, for a team that are in the relegation zone in La Liga, they gave them a bit of a go, and they could have easily got a point. They lost. Barcelona won 2-1 in the end, Suarez opened the scoring, and they they went on to win 2. I think Neymar got the other one. I think was it Messi? Not too sure. But Suarez was particularly profligate in this game. Now this could work 2 ways for us, of course. You don't really get many games where he wastes a hatful of chances, which he had at least 3 or 4. He could have had a hat-trick, could have had a double hat-trick, really, but it just wasn't really happening for him. So, I mean, Connor, would that be something to... the guy is human. He's probably the best striker in the world right now, I would suggest.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, yeah.
So, I mean, is that a good thing, or could that just work horribly against us? What do you think?
What's Suarez's form?
Well, just the fact that Saturday he was slightly off of it, so he'd be hungry for tomorrow night.
Well, I think they've got two other players that can very much do
they do indeed, yeah.
out of sorts.
They do indeed.
But,
yeah.
I think he's got 12 in his last 7. So we say like if he's off form, I'd like to have him. If that's it. But yeah, I think I'd worry about. I don't know if Gabriel's fit. I think Wenger said that he might not. I think he's in the squad, but I don't think he's fit enough to start.
He's struggling, yeah.
Wenger said so. There'll obviously be attention on Mertesacker, as there always is. But I'd be worried for all of them coming against that 3.
Yeah, so 91 goals between the 3. The other 2 players are obviously referring to Neymar Jr. and someone called Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
So 91 goals. I mean, that's in all competitions, obviously. That's scary. So I mean, Rob, how are we gonna? Who do we target more?
Is there one of them you can... This is like the scariest fixture of football, to be honest.
Yeah, we played Barcelona before. We've never had to face this 3-pronged assault.
No, I mean...
Which is what it's going to be.
When we played them in 2011, I honestly thought their front 3 then, with like Villa, Messi, and I think it was Pedro at the time, was like, that's the best front 3 in football. And now we're just having to face against this. I mean, they're just incredible. I don't think there is one of them that you can really focus on, because if you take Suarez out of the game, like Connor said, there's Messi and Neymar either side of him. They're not short of goals themselves. Have we scored 91 between the whole team this season, by the way?
No.
I didn't think so.
I can categorically state that is not the fact. No. As I see it, this game is going to be won in the wide areas, particularly the fullback areas. I think Hector against Neymar is going to be fascinating to watch. Bellerin is potentially one of the best right backs in Europe. If not now, he will be. And he's going to have to keep Neymar quiet. And I think he can do it. What will equally be as fascinating is Nacho Monreal against Messi. Because Monreal has a game like that in him to keep Messi quiet. And it's just whether they can both adequately contain... As you say, it's hard to know because Messi will be buzzing around, but it's likely to be Monreal against Messi. Connor, what's your take on tomorrow evening's event?
I think I think they're going to take it as seriously as they can. Of course, the professionalism. I think they're more wary of an underdog than any other, being probably the most successful underdogs of all time, with the Real Madrid General Franco thing back in the day. I think if you look on their website as well, it's full of Arsenal, like Thierry Henry and I think Luis Enrique. Like they have videos of his and Messi's goals against us and stuff.
Yeah,
I think they'll be wary of an underdog. I think they've only been beaten twice this season in the league. In La Liga, I'm not sure elsewhere. Probably not elsewhere though. And that was to Celta Vigo and Sevilla.
Yeah.
So it's not like they've beaten. So it's small teams that have like beaten the season.
Well, at the time, just to pull you up on that quickly, Celta were in the top 4, I believe.
Yeah.
So one, you couldn't call them a minnow, but by any stretch of imagination. But I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do think we need a lot of luck though, because in that game against Sevilla, they hit the post 3 times, and in the Celta Vigo game, the goalkeeper had made a plethora of saves, and they hit the post again. So I think if we do need to go to the new camp with a chance of advancing, we will need a slice of luck as well as being tactically spot on.
Yeah, agreed. I think we're going to need more than a slice of luck. Perhaps,
yeah.
I don't know, an appropriate alternative, maybe instead of a slice, a cake, just a whole cake of luck.
A lucky cake.
Yeah, a lucky cake. We all like cake, so I thought we'd go with that.
I certainly think we have to manage the game better than we've managed the first leg of the last 3 round of 16 games, because last year was just atrocious, of going 1-0 down and basically just throwing everyone forward and getting caught by Anthony Martial 5 minutes into the second half, which basically killed the game.
Yeah, I think it's more we struggle with Carrasco more than Martial for me personally, I thought. The player that I'm actually looking at more as a real threat in terms of creativity tomorrow night is Rakitic, and possibly Turan as well. So we're going to be faced with. I mean, hopefully it's going to be. You would think it's going to be Coquelin and Ramsey. They have to shut the what out of Busquets, because Busquets is in the form of his life this season, and a real cracker. But then then you got Rakitic and Turan there. I'm not sure if Iniesta's fit or not. I think he is. So that is obviously another interesting option they've got. But I don't think he'll start. He might, but I don't know. So it's and also playing Turan is a bit of an unknown unknown element for us. So there is that as well. So Coquelin essentially has to be on Messi, he has to be on Busquets, he has to be on the entire team. So if we're going to get anywhere close to winning this, Busquets, Coquelin has to be on his A game. Rob.
Yeah, can we clone him? Is that allowed?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe his code name's Dolly or something like that. Maybe that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It would, especially if we could play with 14 as well.
In the rules,
I'm sure there's not. I'm sure there's a loophole. They've been exploited enough in football.
There'll be drug testing, but has there been clone testing?
Exactly.
Is the real question.
I'm interested now.
I'm going to go read the UEFA rulebook.
Yeah, you do that. So, but is Ramsey's role important tomorrow night? Assuming he plays, he should do.
Yeah, I think so. He's got the energy that I think is going to get him. It's going to be decent to close players down and get him about the pitch a little bit. I think that's probably going to be our key weapon going forwards and back is to have Ramsey, assuming he's on his game, and not Ramsey who sort of can be a bit wasteful and a bit out of it in some of the games. But I do think we need a player in there that has Ramsey's energy, and just they're going to make us run around a lot tomorrow, and
you bet they will.
yeah. So I think having someone like Ramsey in there is going to be really important. I mean, Coquelin's not short of energy, but I think having Ramsey next to him might give him help being able to find out that the positions positionally.
Yeah. Connor, I'll come to you. I'm trying to look at the weak links in this Barcelona side, and there's some weak links for me. And again, I'll go back to the fullback areas with Dani Alves and Jordi Alba. Both like to get forward, and the area will be exposed. And I would suggest to you that our fullbacks are better than their fullbacks. I might perhaps slightly controversially, but where do you see, in your eyes, if any, a weak link in Barcelona?
Well, it's quite difficult to pick a weak link. I'm not going to profess to be a La Liga expert either and talk about their tactics or anything like that. But their Achilles heel, obviously, it's got to be defensively. I mean, it can't be offensively, of course. But I think it depends, because we can either put pressure on them and try and stop their getting the ball out of defence as they do so brilliantly, but that leaves us susceptible to counter-attack, and they'll probably punish us for that. But that is an option, because I think Mascherano said that they are not playing with the freshness that they're used to. I think that's why Piqué was rested. Was he rested on the weekend, I think?
Yeah, it was Mascherano and Mathieu. Essentially, Mascherano and Mathieu is the I think it's the, I don't know, with Piqué it's strange because his form drops quite a lot, so it'd be interesting to see who starts. I mean, whether it's, I very much doubt they go with Mascherano and Busquets in midfield. I very much doubt that. Playing the 4-3-3, which I assume they will do. So then Mascherano and Mathieu play as the two centre backs, even Piqué on. I know Vermaelen did come on as a substitute against Las Palmas at the weekend, so that would be another interesting element, but I wouldn't for the life of me think he'll start. And if he does, obviously he'd score. He's guaranteed to score against us.
Celebrate, as he says.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said if he scores, he's going to celebrate, and a lot of people said, well, you've got to stop playing first.
Yeah, very true, very true. So there's various elements. I mean, it's quite unpredictable. Like, I think that's where they do have a leg up on us defensively tomorrow night, because it's either going to be, it's very likely to be Mertesacker, Shelny, Gabriel is possible, but I think he's not going to be fit. Whereas they could play Piqué, they could play Vermaelen, they could play Mascherano, they could play Mathieu. I think Mathieu's weakness, he's a strong player, but he's quite similar to Mertesacker in the sense he doesn't really have the speed. He's got more speed than Mertesacker, obviously, because everybody does. Snails have, and other creatures. But he's slightly on his heels sometimes. So I think we can get at them in that sense. So yeah, I'll cut to the chase. Predictions. I mean, how do you think it's going to go? I'll come to you, Rob, first.
4-0 Arsenal.
4-0. Goodness me.
I love the optimism.
It's incredibly optimistic. So,
yeah.
Can I get your proper prediction?
Yeah, not 4-0 Barcelona. I can see us getting a draw. I sort of think it might go like the 2010 quarter-final. We might just triumphantly, I can't even say it, get back to 2-2, and then we'll go to the new camp like, oh, we can win this, and then probably get absolutely decimated, as we always do. Okay.
Connor?
I think we won't win. I don't think. Going against Rob's original optimism, I don't think we are capable of handing out like a two-goal win at home. Even though we are probably a better team than we were when we beat them 5 years ago now. Just more intelligent, but I think we'll lose 2-1. Unfortunately, I think we can get a goal, but I just can't see us winning. But we'll still be in the tie come the new camp.
Interesting. Well, I've thought about this all week, and I'm going to go 3-2 us. I think we'll get goals, but I don't think we can prevent them.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Alexis scoring. I'm going to go a Giroud and I reckon Giroud, Ozil and Alexis to score, and at the other end I'll go Rakitic and Messi.
Do you think we'll go through overall, or we stay?
Absolutely no chance. Absolutely no chance. I would like to say we'll win 3-2 tomorrow, and then we'll get tanked at Camp Nou. We'll get absolutely tanked because our record there is horrendous. I mean, really, I don't think we've even got a single point like ever. No. I think so.
Drew 1-1 in 1999. I looked at this earlier.
Oh no, you're correct. Yes, because was that Gilberto Silva?
Cano scored.
That's Cano, right? Yeah, because they beat us at Wembley 3-1. I'm correct.
4-2, I think. I don't know. It's because I looked at it earlier.
Okay, I think we play them quite often. I think twice in 2 years or 3 years. I have to check that. So I stand corrected.
Louis van Gaal, incidentally, was the manager for those two games in 99.
He was.
And Luis Enrique scored at Wembley.
Yes, like you say, he did. And I believe Ed Milson did possibly as well. But again, let's not just cover slightly dodgy, potentially Wikipedia-like factual content. I think let's drop that right there. Yeah, so I think we can win, but I just don't see because, like I said, Suarez has never scored at the Emirates. I think that is true.
No, I think he has.
Okay.
I think didn't he score? I think it was. I think it was in 2011, the 11-12 season, and we lost 2-1. I think Suarez got the second, or it was an Aaron Ramsey own goal and a Suarez strike.
Okay, so it wasn't. So it wasn't actually a Suarez goal.
No, I think it was. I think he scored in the 2-2 as well. I'm not.
Okay. Well, then let's just say he's only scored once. He has limited success against Arsenal at the Emirates.
Yes.
Let's just say that. So, and likewise, Messi potentially as well, but I don't know. This is all still potentially moot points because they could just turn up and just wipe the floor with us. But I generally don't think they will. But then if we to have any chance of going through, I think we'd have to be winning by 2 goals tomorrow night. I just can't see that. No way, absolutely no way. But we'll see. So I think we'll wrap things up there. Just to say, we do play Man United on Sunday afternoon now, and that will be interesting to see what kind of, because it is an equally massive, bigger game actually, and so we really need to carry on our league form there, but hopefully we won't be too fatigued or a little bit short.
Well, they've got to power past them right at Midtjylland first.
Right, indeed. So, but one game at a time, and then hopefully we all just had a big ice bath after the game or something like that. A really big ice bath because we need it. So we'll wrap things up there. Thanks again for listening. Cheers, Connor, for being with us.
My pleasure.
Coming in as a substitute.
Well, I've been more first team recently. I think I've been on it more than Jack. So you know.
You have, and I'd like a war of words on Twitter to emerge between you two. Just a nice friendly rivalry.
Okay.
Your Twitter handle for us, please,
is @dsmith19.
Excellent. Rob, once again, thank you very much.
No problem. I don't want to be too sort of presumptuous and just be yeah, first teamer every week.
Yeah, complacent.
Next week I'll just be waiting at the phone.
Right, yeah. No complacence, yeah. Your handle, please, Twitter handle.
Yeah, @RobTomlinson94.
Thank you very much. I've been Neil, your host once more. You can get me on Twitter @the91stNeil. That's @the99stneil. You can contact us, the Arsenal group, @e_ArsenalNet, the one word. And we also have the Facebook group, which is growing in members by the day. Thank you very much for listening, and we will be with you over the weekend, and we'll hopefully not be not be in too much devastation of what may come. But in the meantime, keep listening. Thanks for listening.